what if they said, I think here's what I'm thinking, it'll have a positive price feedback loop with Hex or with Pulse or whatever it is. Would that be, you'd be like, okay, if it's going to
Right.
pump
I
my
mean, the
coins,
only
flip my blue
option,
chips.
yeah, you totally know what I would say is basically build it on top of Hex. But now we've already got enough of that too now. So it's like, you
Can
can't,
there be too much? Can there be too much building on top of Hex? Like
right,
how would we
because
know when there's too
eventually
much?
the coin will be dilute itself. So like once you start seeing coins launch on top of Hex that don't perform, that's when you know it's went too far. Your thing's just not
The
innovative enough.
new Hex building top. That's when you've got to stop.
Right. Right. Well, I'm not saying that that's funny that you put it that way because it could Hex plus Pulse could be the play, like because they're kind of just in the same way that I see that Ethereum and Hex are directly tied in price movements and also in how much gas it costs. They're tied together. Hex ETH Hex is like a unit, a combined unit. One's a store of value part of the equation, and one of them is the gasoline part of the equation and run the equipment. So like together they make ETH worth way more, right? That makes sense to a lot of people, right? That they're the same. And so like I see the Pulse and Hex, whereas like Binance coin, for example, is like they're not complementary like that. That's a whole other competing casino chain that's trying to do something completely different, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like you know, good luck capturing lightning in a bottle again. That's what I feel like. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's lots of new coins coming out, and you just gotta wonder, like, why?
They can all pump. We've seen it in 2017. We've seen it. They could all pump.
They pump, but I guess the thing is, are they? And it just goes back to the point: are they taking capital away from you after they pump? The most people, if they buy it, they get into it, they put capital in, they lose it. That's money they
Right.
could have put
Right.
into
We
other
talked about
projects.
this already tonight, where we talked about speculation. This is the end of the speculation era of crypto and the beginning of investment in real blockchain viability. Because remember how mystified Bitcoin was in the beginning? Like nobody really knew what it was, and you know, 10 years ago. Well, that's all been solved, and there's enough YouTube content now of regular, normies explaining Bitcoin to other regular normies. So it's already topped on its S curve, and you can't speculate. It's literally only going to grow as a function of how many big players can take advantage of cryptocurrency that's volatile with enough liquidity to make big moves. It's basically became an instrument for trade for large institutions now. Bitcoin is. It's totally away from, and it keeps evolving and changing its role over time. It's very interesting. Bitcoin evolves; it doesn't stay the same. Crazy. And so I think like that can be applied here in the same way as that if you're not building on tokenomics, like if you're gonna build a new coin, its tokenomics have to be solid, you know. And if it's just trying to be a currency, we got that covered already. We don't like I don't see the point in that. You're gonna have to do something better than that. We don't even need more hex derivatives necessarily, but the way I anticipate this going is that everything builds to put stakes out 5555. Everything becomes more scarce and burns away, and that's going to cause friction long term. That's something people don't really recognize, but that's a conversation for another time.